Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you getting on? Welcome to a brand new Fallout 76 video. So, it is patch day. Atlantic City Part 2, America's Playground, is deploying as we speak, and probably deployed already by the time you guys get to see this video. So, we're going to dive into the patch notes today. They should be reasonably manageable. We've got some cool new stuff coming in here, some stuff that is considerably more on the mixed size, and the raft of new bug fixes as well. So, reasonably compact patch notes. So, let's get cracking, shall we? Okay, so I really like this splash screen off the top of things. It's really cool, it's good fun. You probably already saw it on the thumbnail because it's that cool. So, shall we? Last year you met fresh faces and explored new locations with the expedition to Atlantic City. Now it's time for you to go back and wrap up some unfinished business. So the highlights include America's Playground, new quest line, explore the boardwalk, and changes to seasons. You can debate whether or not that one is a highlight or not. Patch size is there as per, quite the range as usual, a 10GB range actually there, from those of us on Steam who have a 17.1 gig update, and those who are on PC via the Microsoft Store at 27.1. So yeah, that's just a chunky update, but there is a whole bunch of new stuff. There's massive changes to areas that are in Appalachia, there is a whole new area in Atlantic City, and so on. So, shall we? America's Playground. When we last left the glitzy boardwalk of Atlantic City, we had run a deadly game show with the showman and even encountered the family, the local organised crime outfit. Now the leader of Atlantic City's own municipal, that's a hard word, government, Mayor Tim, calls upon your help again against an invasion of Overgrown. Can you fend off the dangerous plant-like beings encroaching upon Atlantic City in this all-new expedition mission? So, we've known since this was initially announced, nearly a year ago now, that there would be 3 expeditions. We've had 2 so far. This is referencing the third one, which is helping out the third faction, the Munis. So, family comes first, an all-new quest line. I'm quite excited for this. We've got the main quest line, plus, I don't know if it's mentioned here, but 3 side quests as well that are coming with this update. And we've been ready for a more traditional quest line edition for quite some time. It has been a hot minute since we've had that sort of content added into the game, and it is most welcome. I'm looking forward to diving into that later. So, back home in Appalachia, players will embark on a new multi-mission questline surrounding the glamorous Russo family. Opening a new nightclub in Appalachia, the Russos hope to start a quieter, though still comfortable, life away from the rat race at Atlantic City. Sadly, that won't be on the cards. As a deadly plot unfolds, players must uncover the skeletons, or perhaps devils, dun dun dun, lurking in the Russo family's closet in this new questline coming to Fallout 76. So, yeah, that is the main storyline. If you guys want to know how to kick off all the new quests, I'll link somewhere up here, because I did a video earlier today on that particular subject, so you can find these new questlines. And yeah, we know there is a new cryptid to appear somewhere in this update that they have been rather mum on, although it looks like there's a little hint here that it may be tied into the Russo family's experiences, shall we say. So that should be cool. Looking out for that one. And hopefully more of the lesser devils as well, that'd be cool. So, explore the boardwalk. Atlantic City, America's Playground, also expands on Fallout's take of post-nuclear New Jersey, allowing players to further explore the city at their own leisure and even take on new side quests, meet with local merchants and shop, or even play a part in passing the torch within the inner circle of the family. So, yeah, we've got new merchants, we've got the area of Atlantic City that you can actually get into outside of expeditions and explore, which will be necessary as the side quests, and from the sound of it, the Russo's quests as well, will involve you going over to Atlantic City as well. Some of it will happen in Appalachia, some of it over in Atlantic City. So they did mention way back when that Atlantic City would be explorable outside of expeditions, but that didn't emerge with Part 1. Here it is with Part 2. Definitely looking forward to sort of having the free roam opportunity and talking to people and getting to see the other side of Atlantic City, the living side perhaps. So that should be very, very cool. As well as we have these 3 side quests, focused again on each of, well, I assume it's in each of the factions. 2 of them are. One of them is a little bit more ambiguous on that, because we've got one focusing on being a private eye kind of type individual investigating the family. And the next one is related to the showman, which is to do with cleaning up, presumably after the most sensational game, and I imagine that's going to get grim. And then there is a missing journalist, so I can only assume that's tied into the Munis, but we'll have to see. A whole bunch of different quests with a different flavour to each of them as well, so looking forward to that. So, this is the bit where we go into the somewhat more mixed set of changes, and that is seasons. Season 16 starts today, and it is a vast change, a fairly vast change from the previous scenario. So, gone are the old scoreboard type seasons pages. Now we have a more traditional style of. It's like battle passes in other games. Well, a lot of other games. Everybody cites Fortnite as an example, but I'm going to go with Sea of Thieves because it's the same thing basically, and it's not Fortnite, so there you go. But it's that same basic principle where you've got a page, bunch of rewards, you rank up and move on to the next page, kinda. I've gone over this in more detail in other videos, so we'll link that up if you want to have a whole look at that. But basically, you complete challenges the same way you already have been doing, and earn score. That grants you tickets each time you rank up, which you then spend on whatever specific items you want. Everything is nice and arranged out. It's easy to see. I think layout-wise, I know that some people are going to miss the scoreboard, but I think being able to see what's there much more clearly, more neatly laid out like this, I actually like that. What I'm not so keen on, however, is the season has effectively become 150 ranks rather than 100 with this. It is now longer because there's a whole extra page of stuff post-rank 100 that looks like you'll have to get to rank 150 to claim it all. So, yeah, the season has got longer. This time round, we're likely to have less time to complete it in as well. The last couple of seasons have been a longer window. This one is very much likely to be down at 3 months on the nose, so you'll have to get stuck into this one rather than be a bit more leisurely like the last couple. So there is that. In some senses, the goalposts have moved. The other drawback is there are a few less rewards available. There's a handful less rewards available, and they're spread out over a longer period of ranks. So that is not ideal either. It's not massively satisfying, especially if you're on limited time. I'd imagine this is going to be challenging for you. However, that is the situation that it is. So, obviously, Bethesda here are talking about that in a certain amount of detail. New and improved, your mileage may vary. At the start of each new season, you'll be able to view all of the rewards you can earn, and even the rewards offered after rank 100. You could kind of do that anyway. Rewards are displayed across multiple pages, which can be unlocked, so you can start claiming them, as you reach the required rank. Every time you rank up, you'll earn 25 tickets. Okay, that's a clarification that we didn't have before, which can be redeemed for rewards on the pages you've unlocked. Just like with the scoreboard, all you need to do to increase your rank is to earn score by completing challenges. So, yeah, it reiterates this further down, but the way you earn score hasn't changed. So on a day-to-day, you'd be going out, completing challenges, earning score, ranking up, just as we were before. The way you claim your rewards is changing. That's the bit that's changing. For now, personally, I think they've focused on the wrong thing here. Yeah, the layout thing I actually generally think is probably not a bad thing, although the less rewards, not so much. Moving the goalposts, you know. But the fact that the challenges are the same, that's the bit I'm bored with, really. For me personally, that's the bit I would like them to overhaul, refresh, and make more interesting. And it's the bit that they're leaving alone. They might change it in future, who knows. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on the thing. I think they're focused on the wrong side, at least from a gameplay standpoint. From a monetization standpoint, well, there's a whole rabbit hole. I kind of understand it, but it's not great from a player perspective. However, all the base rewards available as they always were for everybody for free. There are Fallout First additional rewards available throughout the season as well. That's the same as it was, it's just laid out differently. The thing that has changed on this front is that you don't have to have Fallout First now to gain access to those Fallout First rewards. You can purchase access to those with atoms if you would like. Honestly, Fallout First is better value for money, FYI. So if you do want to go down that road, you get all the extra Fallout 4 stuff. I think it ultimately will cost you a little bit less to go that way, and you get more for it. So, you know, there's food for thought for you. But there we go. There is a reminder here that, not surprisingly, when the season ends and the new one starts, tickets will not roll over. You'll be starting at 0 at the start of each season, as we have been doing all along. So no surprises there, but the reminder is there too. So there we go. That's my take on it without the quite so much marketing bump on it. So there we go, there is a nice trailer, and the trailer's quite fun. There are some very cool rewards in this season, I've got to say, to be fair. I'm looking forward to picking some of those up. And yeah, we'll see how it goes and see how the reality of it is once we actually get our hands on it in a short while. So yeah, if you want to have a look at those rewards, by the way, up there as always. So, bug fixes and improvements. As I usually do, I'm not going to go through every single one of these. There is a decent number of them. You can pause and take a look if you would like. Not the longest list ever, but nonetheless also welcome. There's some good stuff in here, and there's some not very exciting stuff, so condensed is not a complaint. So I'm going to dive into this, pick out the stuff that interests me the most, have a read through yourself, link to this post down below, the patch notes, if you want to read it for yourself as well, and let's just pick on the cool stuff, or the interesting stuff. So, fix the graphical issue with ultrasight laser beams when using the Beam Focuser mod. So previously they'd be invisible, now they should be visible. Cool. Flashlight masks were not displaying properly in display cases, that should be fixed. Ooh, here's a fun one. Fix an issue where players would see the word chain displaying on screen after using certain weapons. If you haven't seen it yourself, you've probably seen it on Reddit. This is a bug that's been around for ages. I don't know whether or not they've had a crack at fixing this in the past. I honestly can't remember yes or no on that one. Either way, having a crack at it here, hopefully that will get sorted. It's not a game-breaking thing exactly. Like worst case scenario, you log out, log back in, problem solved. But nonetheless, it'd be nice if it didn't happen. A bit disruptive. Fix an issue preventing the user from firing in VATS when they swapped their mouse buttons. So PC thing here, primarily aimed at left-handed players. So if that's you and you want to swap things over, hopefully you'll have fewer issues with the whole shooting in VATS thing. That would be nice. Fix an issue causing NPCs to be invulnerable when they're not supposed to be. Okay. Fix an issue causing expedition team members to be removed from an expedition. So if you're doing those in a group, hopefully that'll be a bit smoother as well. Very nice. Localization fixes. A Better Tomorrow fixed the issue that prevented the quest from resetting properly. The most sensational game, that's one of the expeditions. The quest no longer is blocked when resuming an expedition on the first objective. Nice. Wayward Souls, going in an early game here. Fix an issue that would cause Duchess to loop dialogue forever if the player chose the luck option when confronting Batter. So this must be a very intermittent thing or a new thing, one or the other, because I've gone through that. I've definitely taken the luck option, and it's quite funny, that luck option. No spoilers, but yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I didn't have that problem, so there's the joy of trying to bug fix games. Intermittent issues is rather hard to fix if you can't find it. Quest targets should correctly point between Atlantic City and Appalachia locations. There's a whole lot of stuff here that I'm interested to find out about this evening, but that's obviously something carried over from the PTS, because it wasn't an issue beforehand, it wasn't relevant beforehand. So that's good and well-timed, what with this being the update it applies to. Continued balance changes and iteration in key quest combat encounters. Say that 3 times quick. Fixed several issues with resuming speaking to NPCs after logging off during a quest objective. Checkpointing bugs fixed. And balance changes and iteration in combat encounters. That's the same thing again. Okay, that's in there twice. Maybe they did it twice. Any dual weapons now get a 65% damage bonus to Scorch from the Prime Receiver, so that makes it consistent with other things. Nice. Barium Mentats should work properly with Chem Fiend perk. Headlamps for XO1, T45, T60, T51, and Raider power armors, the basic ones, should now be reattachable. Apparently there was an issue with that. Purveyor Murmur will only reward Union power armor pieces once the plans have been learned. If this applies to you, I have to ask why on earth you're asking her for specific power armor pieces and stuff, when you could go and craft at your camp using legendary modules you bought from her. My point here would be that if you go and craft it yourself using the legendary crafting system, you massively reduce the number of possible combinations in terms of the RNG, so you're much more likely to get something useful more quickly than if you ask Murmur to just drop something on you. I mean, if you're not worried, then don't worry, but if you actually want something specific, that's the way to do it. So, yeah, there's an FYI for you. Atlantic City vendors will no longer open the trade menu automatically when talked with. That must be from the PTS there. Ooh, this is good. Change the text on the lock and load perk card to reflect the actual buffs to heavy weapons reload speed of 20-40-60 rather than the displayed 10-20-30% speed. So yeah, that card was actually doing better than it claimed to be doing, and now the visuals should match the reality, which is nice. Players can now eat meat or a corpse and receive double the benefits, including better hunger fulfillment, when having the carnivore mutation. So if you are a cannibal and a carnivore, which would make sense as a combination, let's not think too much about that, then those two things should interact properly now. Couple of UI things. Strike-through is more accurate in large dynamic bundles, so that's on the Atomic Shop. Fixed an issue where the place marker button was incorrectly starting an expedition. Fixed the bug causing the expedition marker to occasionally appear when making your character. That's not very helpful. Fixed an issue where legendary item model stayed on the screen for longer than expected, which should be down in the corner now, after they changed it at long last summer, when it used to be in the middle of the screen, remember that. That was such a nice change, but so natural that I kind of forget it was a thing. But yeah, that was a favourite over last summer, at least for me. So, some item texture fixes and item floating fixes throughout the world. Fix an issue around time-gated expedition rewards not properly resetting. Fix an issue where NPCs didn't have collision while sitting. I imagine that's interesting. What are they doing? Falling through chairs? Or you could walk through them or sit on them, I guess. Curious. Fix an issue preventing certain overgrown from being properly decapitated. Fair. Pollinators should explode properly. Some typos and subtitle dialogue mismatches are fixed. Remove some extra plans from Giuseppe's vendor inventory, presumably stuff that wasn't meant to be there, so hopefully that tidies that up. If nothing else, at least it'll take you slightly less time to find the thing you're looking for in his inventory if you've got less stuff to scroll through. And adjusted NPC placement and spacing in a few key conversations. So hopefully that means less random NPCs getting in your face while you're trying to have a conversation, I guess. A lot of stuff I'm looking forward to in this update. There's some fun stuff, the new quests in particular, ready to jump into the new expedition. There's some good stuff on this new season, even if the changes are decidedly more mixed in terms of the length of the season and the number of rewards available. I know not everybody's happy about those. I definitely think it's a decidedly mixed bag of changes. The visual side of things, for me at least, I think is probably good. But the practical, it takes longer thing, yeah, I get it, they want people to play longer. I think they're going to end up shooting themselves in the foot a bit with this one, in my opinion. And yeah, they haven't changed the bit that needs the most work, which is always kind of disappointing. There we go. Anyway, looking forward to diving into the fun side of things, for sure, as of this evening. So if you get a chance to join us for the live streams, we're going to be playing 76 and, well, upping our rate of play because we're going to need to, apparently. So that should be cool. A lot more Fallout 76 appearing on the live side of things, and continuing, of course, in other areas with news and camp builds and stuff like that. So do keep it here, likes and subs and notification bell, all that good stuff, so you can catch all those videos if you would like to. Keep an eye out for shorts if you're into that sort of thing as well. I've been doing the odd one here and there on that, and I've got one in the back of my head that I might do in the next couple of days, so that might be useful for you. As always, social media links, merch store, channel memberships down below, and links to the patch notes as well if you want to check that out in the description. Very much appreciate. Do check out those channel memberships as well. I really appreciate the support in that direction if you're interested in that sort of thing. Hugely helps out. Massive thanks to everyone who's done that already. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.